Good evening all. Namo Buddhaya. Teruvan Saranai Sielu Denatama. Very warm welcome to our regular Saturday evening Dhamma program hosted by Lecturer Dhamma Niketane Buddhist Center every Saturday evening, facilitating all the community to come together, join with the temple and participate in the teachings of the Buddha Dhamma. Today we start a series of Dhamma sermons based on 7 treasures explained by the Lord Buddha, the noble wealth, 7 noble wealth that we all need to develop, earn, acquire within our lives. This is a series of Dhamma Dhana, Dhamma sermons, Dhamma talks that you can participate sponsoring to gain the Dhamma Dhana. Dhamma Dhana, sharing the teachings of the Buddha, is the highest form of blessing, highest form of merits. If you would like to sponsor any of those, please let us know. Today, the Dhamma Dhana is being very kindly sponsored by Dr. Lamindu Niroshana, Dr. Anuradha Herath, daughter Amaya Dulanjali and family. They would like to wish all Sri Lankans and Sri Lanka all the blessings to recover from all the difficulties and find the prosperity, protection, and progress. They would also like to dedicate these blessings to all their parents and family. Wishing all Sri Lankans and all in the community all the happiness, peace, and success. They would like to dedicate these blessings, merits as a healing, protection, blessing to all. Teruvan Saranai Sielu Denatama, Oba Pehama Denama, Sambandha Venne, Supurudu Dharma Adusatanatai, සෑම සෙනසුරාදා දිනකම ලෙක්චර් ධම්මනිකේතන බෞද්ධ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ මගින් සිදු කරන ධර්ම දාන පින්කමයි සිදු කරනු ලබන්නේ. අද දවසේ අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ පොසොන් මාස ධර්ම දේශනා මාලාවක් සප්ත ආර්ය ධන මාතෘකා කරගෙන දින 7ක් පුරා ඒ ආර්ය ධනවල තියෙන වටිනාකම පැහැදිලි කර ගන්නට මේ ධර්ම දානමය ධර්ම දේශනා මාලාව පවත්වනු ලබනවා. ධර්ම දාණය තමයි උසස්ම දාණය. ඔබගේ ජීවිතයේ වැදගත් අවස්ථාවකට ඒ වගේම තමන්ගේ දයාබර මව්පියන් වෙනුවෙන් සිදු කළ හැකි මහඟු පින්කමක් ධර්ම දානමය පින්කම. ඔබටත් මෙවදු පින්කමක දායකත්වය දැරීමට කැමති නම් ඒ සඳහා දැනුම් දෙන්න. අද දවසේ මේ උදාර පින්කමේ දායකත්වය දරනු ලබන්නේ දොස්තර ලමින්දු නිරෝෂණ මහත්මයා, දොස්තර අනුරාධා හේරත් මහත්මිය, අමායා දුලංජලි දියණිය ඇතුළු පවුලේ සියලු දෙනා විසින් විශේෂයෙන් ලංකාවට සහ ලාංකික සැමට සියලු දුක් පීඩාවන් දුරු වී ඉක්මන් සෞභාග්‍ය දියුණුව යහපත සැලසේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනා ඇති කරගෙන ඒ වගේම දෙමව්පියන්ට පවුලේ සියලු දෙනාටම සිතක් ශාන්තියක්ම සැලසේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනාව ඇති කරගෙනයි අද මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය අරගෙන කටයුතු කරන්නේ. ඒ සෑම දිනාගෙම බලාපොරොත්තු ප්‍රාර්ථනා ඉෂ්ට සිද්ධ වේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනා ඇති කරගෙන අපි වැඩසටහන ආරම්භ කරනු ලබනවා. කවුරුත් අප්‍රමාණ ශ්‍රද්ධාවක් හිතේ ඇති කරගෙන අපට මේ ලැබිච්ච උතුම් අවස්ථාව අපේ ජීවිතයේ තුනුරුවන් කෙරෙහි කැප කරමින් මේ ජීවිතයට මෙලෝ වශයෙන් උත් පරලෝ වශයෙන් උත් යහපතක්ම සැලසේවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨාන ඇති කරගෙන මේ පැය කිහිපය ආගමික කටයුතු වල නිරත වන ලෙස ඉතාම කරුණාවෙන් සිහිපත් කර සිටිනවා. Now we are going to start our program. I very kindly invite you all to take your hearts and minds and to engage heartfully, as this is a very rare, grateful opportunity. May this be a great blessing to all of you. Let us start by observing the 5 precepts. After that, we will be doing few minutes of homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and then a Sinhala Dhamma sermon will be held about 20 minutes. After that, there will be a chanting of protection blessings. Then there will be an English Dhamma sermon followed by children's Dhamma sharing and few minutes of meditation to finish our program of the day. හැමදෙනාම පන්සිල් සමාදන් වෙන්නට සූදානම් වෙන්න. Please be prepared for observing the 5 precepts and say Namo Tassa 3 times to observe the 5 precepts.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arhatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arhatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arhatu Samma Sambuddhassa.
Aham saranam gacchami.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Āmesu miccāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Rāmeraya majjapamādaṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramere majjapamādaṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We pay our homage to the supremely enlightened Lord Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, the objects of veneration, sacred Bodhi tree relics of Buddha and Arahant. Especially during this month of Poson, may this be a great blessing for all of you. Wishing everyone all the happiness, good health and protection. Let us join few minutes in homage to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha together. හැම දිනාටම සිතක් ශාන්තියක් යහපතක්ම වේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනා අධිෂ්ඨාන ඇති කරගෙන කවුරුත් එකට තුනුරුවන් වන්දනා කරමු. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. ඉතිපිසෝ භගවා Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vichācarana Sampanno Sukhato Lokavitu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Sattha Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati Buddhang Jivitang Yava Nibbanang Saranang Gacchami. Swakkato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandittiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanayiko Paccantang Veditambo Viñño Itti Dhamman Jivitang Yava Nibbanang Saranang Gacchami. Supatipanno
Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho
Naya Patipanno
Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samichi Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho
Yadidang Chattari
Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo
Dakkineyo
Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyaggetang Lokasati
Sangham
Jevitang Yavanibbanang Saranang Gacchami
Vandami
Tetiyang Sambang Samvetane Supatititang Saririka
Dhatu
Bodhing Buddharupang Sakalang Saddha
Yassa mule
Nisingnova Sambari Vijayannaka Patto Sabbang Yutang Satta Vandetang Bodhipādepang Ime ete Mahabodhi Lokanatena Pujita Ampite
Namassami
Bodhi Raja Namansute Ganasarappaditena Dipena Tamadang Sinati Lokadipang Sanggundang Pujayami Tamonudang Ganda Sambara Yuttena Dupena Sugandhina Pujaye Pujaniyantang Puja Bhajana Uttamang Vanna Gandha Gunopetang Etang Kusuma Santating Pujayami Muning Tassa Siripada Saroruhe
Pujemi Buddhang
Sumena Nena Punyena Metena Lapami Mokkang Puppang
Milayati
Yatai Dhamme Kayo Tatayati Vinasa Bhavang
Sugandang
Sitalang Kampang Prasanna Madurang Subang Paniya Metam Bhagava Patiganhatu Uttama Adivase Tuno Bante
Ilana
Pacayang Imang Anukampang Padaya Patiganhatu Uttama Adivase Tuno Bante Sambang Sandaya Pujitang
Anukampang
Upadaya
Upadaya
Patiganhatu Uttama Ayena Vaca Cittena Pamadena Maya Katang
Acchayang kamami
Bante Buri Panya Tathagata Ayena Vaca Cittena Pamadena Maya
Katang
Acchayang kamami Dhamma Sandidika Akalika
Kayena vaca
Cittena Pamadena Maya Katang Acchayang kamami
Sangha
Patipanna Anuttara
Imina
Punya Kammena Mame Bala
Samagamo
Satang Samagamo Tu Yava Nibbana Pattiya
satta ca bhummatta devanaga
mahidika punyantang anumoditva
tirang rakkantu loka sasanang akasatta ca
bhummatta devanaga mahidika
punyantang anumoditva tirang rakkantu desanang akasatta ca
bhummatta devanaga mahidika punyantang anumoditva tirang rakkantu
mang paranti
dhamme ñātinang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo dhamme ñātinang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo
dhamme
ñātinang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we are moving into our Sinhala Dhamma sermon, which will take about 20 minutes. During that time, those who are not familiar with the language, they can practice few minutes of meditation. There is a form of meditation, subject of meditation called listening to the Dhamma, Dhamma Anusati, contemplations of the Dhamma. After that, we'll continue our program in English. Then අපි හැම දෙනාම සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාවට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නටයි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව ධර්මදේශනා මාලාවක් හැටියට සප්ත ආර්ය ධනයන් මාතෘකා කරගනිමින් සිදු කරන්නටයි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ඒ සඳහා පවත්වන සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව සඳහා අපි ඊටාම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා. ගාල්ල බද්දේගම දුටුගැමුණු රජමහා විහාරස්ථානයේ විහාරවාසී රත්නසාර විද්‍යායතන පිරිවෙනේ විදුහල්පති විද්‍යායතනයේ විදුහල්පති ශාස්ත්‍රපති පඬිත දාම්මල පියනන්ද පඬිත හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේට කවුරුත් ධර්මානුශාසනාවට ආරාධනා කිරීමක් වශයෙන් සාදුකාර පවත්වමින් ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කරන්න.
සමන්තා ජක්කවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්ධම්මං මුනි රාජස්ස සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං වදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං වදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං වදන්තා නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස සද්ධා බීජං තපෝ උට්ටේ පඤ්ඤාමි යුගනංගලා. මූලාසනේ වැඩ සිටින ලෙච්වර්ස් ධර්මනිකේතනාරාමාධිපති, එවැගේම මිල්ටන් කින්ස් බෞද්ධ විහාරාධිපති, ශාස්ත්‍රපති අකුරුල සමිත පඬිත හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේගෙන් අවසරයි මේ ධර්ම දේශනාවට ඇහුම්කන් දෙන ශ්‍රවණය කරන ශ්‍රද්ධාවන්ත පින්වත්නි, ළමයිනි, අද දවසේ සිට ආරම්භ වන ධර්ම දේශනා මාලාවේ මාතෘකාව පිළිබඳව අපේ ගරුතර ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේ සිහිපත් කළා. ඒ අනුව මා බලාපොරොත්තු වන්නේ සප්ත ආර්ය ධනෙහි පළවෙනි අංගය ප්‍රධාන තේමාව වන ශ්‍රද්ධාව පිළිබඳව ත්‍රිපිටකානුසාරයෙන් එහෙම නැත්නම් ත්‍රිපිටකයේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කරලා තිබෙන කරුණු පිළිබඳව ධර්ම දේශනාවක් පැවැත්වීමටයි සූදානම් වෙන්නේ. ආර්ය ධනය සප්ත කියලා කියන්නේ 7යි. ආර්ය කියලා කියන්නේ උතුම්. ධනය වටිනාකම්. අපේ ජීවිතේ අපට තිබෙන උතුම් වටිනා වස්තුන් 7ක් පිළිබඳවයි අපි අද සිට ධර්මානුශාසනා මගින් සාකච්ඡා කරන්න බලන්නේ. ආර්ය ධන 7ක. එහි මුල එහි 7 හැටියට ශ්‍රද්ධාව, සීලය, හිරි හිවත් පවට ඇති ලැජ්ජාව, ඒ වගේම ඔත්තප්ප පයට ඇති බය, ඒ වගේම සුත ශ්‍රවණය කිරීම, ඒ වගේම පරිත්‍යාගය සහ ප්‍රඥාව කියන මේ කාරණා 7යි සප්තාර්ය ධනය හැටියට සඳහන් වන්නේ. එහි පළවෙනි අංගය ශ්‍රද්ධාව. ශ්‍රද්ධාව නොඑක් අවස්ථාවල බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ පළවෙනි අංකය හැටියට හඳුන්වා දීලා තිබෙනවා. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ දේශනාව අනුපූර්ව ශික්ෂා ක්‍රමයක්. අනුපූර්ව කියලා කියන්නේ පිළිවෙලට ගලාගෙන යනවා. තවත් සරලව ප්‍රකාශ කරොත් මහ මුහුද වගේ. මහ මුහුද ටිකෙන් ටික තමයි ගැඹුරට ගමන් කරන්නේ. ඒ වගේ බුදුහාමුදුරුවන්ගේ දේශනාවනොත් පංචශීලයේ ඉඳලා අටසිල් ඉඳලා දසසිල් ඉඳලා මේ සීලේ පැත්තෙන් ක්‍රමානුකූලව තමයි නිර්වාණය දක්වා ගමන් කරන්නේ. එතකොට ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියලා තනි වචනයෙන් ඉතාම සරලව ප්‍රකාශ මේ පින්නතුන් දන්නවා. තවත් සරලව ප්‍රකාශ කළොත් බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ පිළිබඳව තොරතුරු දැනගෙන කරුණු දැනගෙන හරියට ඇති කරගන්න අදහසට ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ ඉන්දියාවේ එහෙම නැත්නම් බුද්ධත්වයට පත් වුණා. බුදුහාමුදුරුවන්ගේ ධර්මය බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දේශනා කළා. එම ධර්මය ඒ වගේම එම මාර්ගයේ ගමන් කරන සංඝ රත්නය පිළිබඳව මේ තෙරුවන් පිළිබඳව අචල විශ්වාසය, නොකැඩෙන විශ්වාසය, නොකැඩෙන පැහැදීම පිළිබඳව ඇතිවන හැඟීම, මානසික හැඟීම. ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියලා කියන්නේ මනසට එන හැඟීමක්. අපිට දෙමාපියෝ පිළිබඳ වෙන ආදරය වගේම අපිට දරුවෝ පිළිබඳ වෙන ආදරය වගේම බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ ධර්ම රත්නයේ සංඝ රත්නයේ තිරුවන කෙරෙහි ඇති කරගන්න කැමැත්ත, කරුණු දැනගෙන ඇති කරගන්න පැහැදීමට ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියලා කියනවා. දැන් ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙහි ප්‍රභේද දෙකක් බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කරලා තිබෙනවා. මේ පින්නතුන් දන්නවා. ළමයින්ට දැන ගැනීම සඳහා ශ්‍රද්ධාවේ කොටස් දෙකයි. එකක් තමයි අමූලිකා ශ්‍රද්ධාව. අමූලික ශ්‍රද්ධාව පදනම් වෙන්නේ මානසික වශයෙන් මෝහ මූලික චේතනාවෙන්. මෝහය කියලා කියන්නේ නොදැනුවත්කම, මෝඩකම. මත ඇති කරගන්න චේතනාවෙන් ඇති කරගන්න ශ්‍රද්ධාව අමූලික ශ්‍රද්ධාව. එය බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ දේශනාවට අනුව ඒ තරම් වටින්නේ නැහැ. බය ප්‍රතික්ෂේපක වෙන්නේත් නැහැ. ඒ වගේම ආකාරවතී ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියලා කියන්නේ කරුණු හරියට අවබෝධ කරගෙන බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ කෙරෙහි, ධර්ම රත්නයේ කෙරෙහි, සංඝ රත්නයේ කෙරෙහි ඍජුපටිපන්නාදී සංඝ රත්නයේ පිළිබඳව ඇති කරගන්න හැඟීමට කියනවා ආකාරවතී ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියලා. දැන් මේ අය දන්නෝ වක්කලි හාමුදුරුවෝ. වක්කලී හාමුදුරුවන්ට ඇති වෙලා තිබුණේ අමෝලිකා ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද උන්වහන්සේ හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක් ඇටියට ශාසනයෙහි බුදුහාමුදුරන්ට තිබෙන බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ රූපයේ තිබෙන ලස්සන දැකලා තමයි උන්වහන්සේ පැවිදි භාවයට පත් වෙන්නේ. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ වක්කලී හාමුදුරන්ට දේශනා කරනෝ මේ පිළිබඳව බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ ශරීරය පිළිබඳව කල්පනා කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ, හිතලා වැඩක් නැහැ, බලලා සන්තෝෂ වෙලා වැඩක් නැහැ. භාවනා කරන්න, ත්‍රිලක්ෂණයේ වඩන්න, මෙනෙහි කරන්න, නිර්වාණය අවබෝධ කරගන්න කියලා. එතෙන්දී අමෝලිකා ශ්‍රද්ධාවත් ආකාරවතී ශ්‍රද්ධාවට ගමන් කරන ආකාරයක් තිබෙනවා. ශ්‍රද්ධාවේ ප්‍රභේද දක්වලා තිබුණාට ඒ වගේම මේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව මූල බීජය හැටියට සඳහන් කරනවා. මූල බීජය, මූලය. දැන් කසී භාරද්වාජ සූත්‍රය පිරිත් පොතේ සඳහන් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම කසී භාරද්වාජ සූත්‍රයේහි සඳහන් වෙන්නේ සද්ධා බීජං තපෝට්ටි. දැන් මේ අපි දන්නෝ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පැලයක් ගහක් සකස් කරගන්න මේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියන එකයි අපි මේ විස්තර කරමින් ඉන්නේ. බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ කසී භාරද්වාජ සූත්‍රයේදී කසී භාරද්වාජ මේ පිරිත් පොතේ තියෙන සූත්‍රයක්. ඒ සූත්‍රයේ සඳහන් කරනෝ බීජයක් ශ්‍රද්ධාව බීජයක් හැටියට ගහකට සම්බුද්ධ ශාසනය එහෙම නැත්නම් නිර්වාණය කියන එක එහෙම නැත්නම් කුඹුරකට උපමා කරනවා නම් සම්බුද්ධ ශාසනය මෙතන පළවෙනි කාරණේ සඳහන් කරනවා සද්ධාව බීජය හැටියට. එතකොට පොරති බීජය කියලා කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඵලය. අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම පොල් ගෙඩියක් ගත්තොත් පොල් ගෙඩිය බීජය, පොල් ගෙඩිය. ඒ වගේම තව ඇට වර්ග ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඒකේ බීජය කියලා කියන්නේ ඇට වර්ග කොස්. ඊළඟට තවත් වෙන ඔය තියෙන කවුපි ඇට වර්ග බීජ ගත්තොත් වී ගත්තොත් හාල් බී ඇටය ගත්තොත් බීජය. එතකොට මේ නිර්වාණගාමී මාවත බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ කුඹුරකට එහෙම නැත්නම් සීසෑමකට උපමා කරලා තිබෙනවා නම් එහි පළවෙනි අංගය තමයි කුඹුරක් වුණාම එහි බීජ තියෙන්න ඕන. වපුරන්න කුෂිකාර්මික ජීවිතේ බීජ ඇට තියෙන්න ඕන. ඵල ලබා ගන්න. දැන් මල් ගහක් ඉඳනකොට එක්කෝ පැලයක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඊට ආශ්‍රය කරන බීජයක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව බීජය හැටියට සඳහන් කරනෝ ඒ තරම් ශ්‍රද්ධාව කියන එක වටිනවා. ප්‍රඥාව ලබා ගන්න. සද්ධා බීජං තපෝ උට්ටි. තපස හරියට වැස්ස වගේ. තපස. ඉතින් මේ ශ්‍රද්ධානුසාරී සහ ධර්මානුසාරී කියලා චරිත දෙකක් පිළිබඳව සූත්‍ර දේශනාවල සඳහන් වෙනවා. මේ පිළිබඳව ශ්‍රද්ධා සූත්‍රය ශ්‍රද්ධාව පිළිබඳව විස්තර කරන. ඒ වගේම විමානවත්තු කියන කුද්දක නිකායට අයත් වෙන කෘත්‍යයේ තියෙන විමානවලට එහෙම නැත්නම් දේවත්වයට පත්වෙච්ච දෙව් දුවක් පිළිබඳ වෙන කතාවක් මේ ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් ශ්‍රද්ධානුසාරීව පින්කම් කරලා දේවාත්ම භාවයක් ලබාගත් කාන්තාවක් පිළිබඳව සඳහන් වෙනෝ විමානවත්තුයි. විමානවත්තුයි විමාන මුගලන් හාමුදුරු මහරහතන් වහන්සේ මේ විමානයේ හිට ගමන් කරලා මේ දෙව්දුව හම්බුණාට පස්සේ දෙව්දුවගෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා කොහොමද දෙව්දුව ඔබ මනුෂ්‍ය ලෝකේ කෙබඳු පින්කමක් සිද්ධ කරලාද මේ වගේ ආත්මභාවයක් ලබා ගත්තේ කියලා. ඒ වෙලාවේ මේ දෙව්දුව සඳහන් කරනවා ඒ දෙව්දුව සඳහන් කරන්නේ ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් යුක්තව යහපත් ආචාර සමාචාර ඇතිව මහා සංඝරත්නයට උජුපටිපන්න මහා සංඝරත්නයට ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් දන් දුන්නා. මේ මුගලන් හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේට විමානවත්වයේ එහෙම නැත්නම් විමානයේ දේවලෝකෙදී හම්බ වෙන දෙව් දුවක් සඳහන් කරනෝ කුමන කුසල කර්මයක් සිද්ධ කරලාද ඔබ දේවලෝකයට පැමිණියේ. එම දෙව්දුව මේ මුගලන් මහරහතන් වහන්සේ සඳහන් කරනවා මහරහතන් වහන්සේ මම ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් යුක්තව ඒ වගේම ආචාර සමාචාර යුක්තව ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් ආචාර සමාචාර යුක්තව ඍජුපටිපන්න භික්ෂුන් වහන්සේලා උදෙසා ආර්ය මාර්ගයේ ගමන් කරන මහා සංඝරත්නය උදෙසා දම් පහම් පූජා කරලා තමන් ගාව තියෙන දේවල් දන් දීලා තමයි මට මේ භවයක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්කම ලැබුණේ කියලා සඳහන් වෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව අනුව මේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව අමූලිකා ශ්‍රද්ධාව නැතුව ආකාරවතී ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් එහෙම නැත්නම් මනෝමූලික වශයෙන් දැන් අපිට දෙයක් කරන්න ගියාට පස්සේ අපි එනවනේ මනසට එනෝ සිතුවිලි තුනක් ලෝභ ද්වේෂ මෝහ යමක් කරනකොට ලෝභය කියන්නේ ඒ පිළිබඳව ඇති කරන ආසාවක් ඇති වෙනවා ද්වේෂය තරහක් ඇති වෙනවා මෙය ලබන්නා පිළිබඳව හෝ තමා පිළිබඳව තරහ මෝහය මේ දීමෙන් ඇති වෙන කර්මයේ පිළිබඳව හෝ ඇති වෙන වැඩක් නැහැ කියලා එහෙම සිතුවිලි තුනක් කෙනෙකුට ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙන්න කලිනුත් ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙන අවස්ථාවෙත් ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඊටත් වඩා දුන්නට පස්සේ ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන් ලෝභ ද්වේෂ මෝහ ඒකේ අකුසල පැත්ත ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් දුන්නාම ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් කෙනෙක් යමක් පරිත්‍යාග කරාම ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් කෙනෙක් යමක් කළාම දෙන එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි දන් දෙන එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි තවත් කුසල කර්ම තීනේව සිද්ධ කළාම සිල් රැක්කහම භාවනා කළාම ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් අවබෝධ කරගෙන කරාම ඒ වගේ සිතුවිලි අපට පැමිණෙන්නේ නැහැ අපට එන්නේ එතකොට අපේ ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් වහම අපේ සිතුවිලි අලෝභයි කුසල සහගතයි පුණ්‍යකාමී අද්වේෂයි කිසි කෙනෙක් පිළිබඳව තරහක් අමනාපයක් අකටයුත්තක් නැහැ අමෝහ මානසික වශයෙන් අපේ පසුගාමී බවක් එහෙම නැත්නම් මෝඩකමක් නොදන්නා බවක් පිළිබඳව අපට මානසික වශයෙන් සිහිපත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ තවත් සූත්‍ර රාශියක මේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව පිළිබඳව සඳහන් කරනවා. ඒ අතර මහා නාම සූත්‍රයේ අංගුත්තර නිකායේ තික නිපාතේ මහා නාම කියන සූත්‍රයේදී බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දීර්ඝ සූත්‍රයක් එහි සඳහන් වෙනවා ශ්‍රද්ධාව පිළිබඳව. එතන ශ්‍රද්ධාව විතරක් නෙමෙයි අත් වශයෙන් කාරණා කීපයක් සඳහන් වෙනවා. ශ්‍රද්ධාව, සීලය, ත්‍යාගය. මේකේ සඳහන් වෙනවා ශ්‍රද්ධාවන්ත වෙනෝ තමන්. ඒ වගේම අන් අයද ශ්‍රද්ධාවේ යොදවනවා. පින්කමක් කරනෝ ශ්‍රද්ධාව තමනුත් යෙදෙනෝ අන් අයත් යෙදෙනවා. ඒ වගේ සීලය, ත්‍යාගය, බණ ඇසීම, ධර්මදේශනා කරවීම, ඒ වගේම ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කිරීම, අනුන් ලවා ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කරවීම ඔය ආදී වශයෙන් මහා නාම සූත්‍රයේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව පිළිබඳව සඳහන් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මජ්ක්‍ධිම නිකායේ කීටාගිරි සූත්‍රයේහි සඳහන් වෙනවා මජ්ක්‍ධිම නිකායේ කීටාගිරි සූත්‍රයේහි ශ්‍රද්ධාව පිළිබඳව ශ්‍රුතවත් භාවය ඇති කරගෙන ධර්මයේහි එහෙම නැත්නම් සාමාන්‍ය පෘථග්ජන ශ්‍රාවකයා කොහොමද නිවන් ලබා ගන්නේ ශ්‍රද්ධාව උපයෝගී කරගෙන. ඒ අනුව ඉස්සෙල්ලා බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ සමීපයට කැමැත්තෙන් පැමිණෙනෝ. ඒ වගේම ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කරනෝ, ධර්මය දරා ගන්නෝ, ධර්මය අවබෝධ කරගන්න කටයුතු කරනෝ. කීටාගිරි සූත්‍රයේ සඳහන් වෙන්නේ ඒත් අනුපූර්ව ක්‍රමයට. ඒකෙත් පළවෙනි අංගය ශ්‍රද්ධාව හැටියට සඳහන් කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඉතින් නොඑක අවස්ථාවල බුදුන් වහන්සේ පංච ඉන්ද්‍රිය ධර්මවල ශ්‍රද්ධා ඉන්ද්‍රිය හැටියට මුලින් සඳහන් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම පංච බල ධර්ම හැටියට මේ සප්ත බොජ්ජංග ධර්මවල සප්තිපාක්ෂික බෝධි ධර්ම 37ක් වෙන ඒ ධර්මවල පංච බල ශ්‍රද්ධා විරිය සති සමාධි ප්‍රඥා කියන අවස්ථාවල ශ්‍රද්ධා බල හැටියට සඳහන් කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ මානසික සිතුවිල්ල ශ්‍රද්ධාව ඒ කරුණු අවබෝධ කරගෙන ඇති කර ගැනීමෙන් අපට ප්‍රඥාව නොසෙල්වෙන ශ්‍රද්ධාවක් නොසෙල්වෙන ශ්‍රද්ධාව බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ පිළිබඳව ධර්ම රත්නය පිළිබඳව සංඝ රත්නය පිළිබඳව ඇති කරගත්තාම එය නිර්වාණගාමී මාර්ගයෙන් කෙලවර කරගන්න පුළුවන් බව මෙම සූත්‍ර අනුසාරයෙන් අපට සඳහන් කරන්න පුළුවන්කම තිබෙනවා. ඒ අනුව අපේ කරුණු දැනගෙන බුදුන් දහම් සඟුන් සරණ යාම අපගේ දෙලොව දියුණුවට උපකාරී වන බව මේ අවස්ථාවේ සිහිපත් කරමින් අද දවසේ ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණයේ ධර්ම දානමේ පින්කම සඳහා කටයුතු කළ දුෂ්‍රමාත්මාන ඕනාමාත්මීය දියණිය එවැගේම ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණ කරන මේ පින්වතුන් සෑම දිනාටම උතුම් චතුරාර්ය සත්‍ය ධර්ම අවබෝධය පිණිස මෙම ධර්මතාවයන් පාරමිතාවන් වේවා කියලා කවුරු සාදු කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමු.
සාදු සාදු සාදු. අද දිනේට નિયમિત සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වනු ලැබුවේ ගාල්ල බද්දේගම දුටුගැමුණු රජ මහා විහාරස්ථානයේ රතනසාර විද්‍යායතනයේ විදුහල්පති අතිගෞරවනීය ශාස්ත්‍රපති පඬිත දාම්මල පියනන්ද පඬිත හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ විසින් ඒ රැස් කරගත් උතුම් ධර්ම දානමේ ආශිර්වාදයෙන් පින්කමෙන් උන්වහන්සේගේ ශාසනික කටයුතු සියල්ලක්ම සාර්ථක වේවා නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවය සැලසේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින් අද දවසට નિયમિત සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව අවසන් කරනු ලබනවා. අපි දැන් ටික වෙලාවක් හැම දිනාම එකතුව සෙත් පිරිත් දේශනාවක් සිද්ධ කරමු. හැම දිනාටම යහපතක් සැපතක් ශාන්තියක්ම සැලසේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනාවෙන් ඉන් අනතුරු අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි ධර්ම දේශනාවට යොමු වෙන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙමු.
නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු වරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු වරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස
යානි
භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි අන්තලික්කේ
සබ්බේව භූතා
සුමනා භවන්තු අතෝපි සංකච්ඡ සුනන්තු වාසිතං තස්මාහි භූතානි සාමේත සම්බේ මෙත්තං
කරෝත මානුෂ්‍ය
සියාපජාය දිවාචරත්තෝච හරන්ති හේ බලෙන් තස්මාහිනේ රක්කත අපමත්තායං කිංචි විත්තං ඉදවාහුරං වා සංගේ සුවායං රතනං පනීතං අනෝ සමං අත්ති තථාගතේන ඉදම්පි බුද්දේ රතනං පනීතං
ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති
හෝතු කයං විරාගං අමතං පනීතං යදජ්ජගා සංඛ්‍ය මුනි සමාහිතෝ නතේන ධම්මේන සමත්ති කිංචි ධම්පි
ධම්මේ රතනං
පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යං බුද්ද සෙට්ටෝ පරිවංගයි සුචින් සමාධිමානං පරිකඤ්ඤමාහු සමාධිනාතේන සමෝන විජ්ජති ධම්පි ධම්මේ රතනං පනීතං
ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේ
මුගලාට සදම්ප සත්තා චත්තාරි
හේතානි
යුගානි හොන්ති තේ දක්ඛිනේයා සුගතස්ස ශාවකායේතේ සුදින්නානි මහප්පලානි ධම්පි
සංගේ රතනං
පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු
යේසුප්පයුත්තා මනසා
දල්ලේන නික්කාමිනෝ ගෝතම සාසනම් මීතේ පත්තිපත්තාම තං විගයිහ
ලද්දා මුදා
නිබ්බුතෙන් වොංජමානායි දම්පි සංගේ රතනම් පනිතං ඒතන සච්චේන සුවත්තියෝතු
යතින්ද කීලෝ
පටවින් සිතෝසියා චතුම් විවාතේපි අසම්පකම්පියෝ තතෝපමං සප්පුරිසං වදාමි
යෝ ආර්ය සත්‍යානි අවෙච්ච
පස්සති දම්පි සංගේ රතනං පනිතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්තියෝතු
යේ ආර්ය සත්‍යානි
විභාවයන්ති ගම්බීර පඤ්ඤේන සුදේසිතානේ
කිංචාපිතේ
හොන්ති බුසප්ප මත්තානතේ බවං අට්ඨමං ආදියන්ති දම්පි සංගේ රතනම් පනිතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්තියෝතු
සහවස්ස දස්සන
සම්පදාය තයස්සු ධම්මා ජහිතා භවಂತಿ සක්කාය දිට්ඨි විචිකිංචිතං
සීලබ්බතං වාපි
යදස්සි කිංචි චතුව පායේ ච විප්පමුන්තෝ චාවිතානානි අබම්බෝගාතුං ඉදම්පි
සංඝේ රතනං පනිතං
ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්තියෝතු කිංචාපිසෝ කම්මං කරෝති පාපකං කායේන වාචා උදචේතසාවාග බම්බෝසෝ තස්ස පටිච්චාදාය අබම්බතා දිට්ඨ පදස්ස බුද්ධාය
ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං
පනිතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්තියෝතු අනම්පගොම්බේ
යතා පුස්සිතංගේ
ගිම්හාන මාසේ පටමස්මින් ගෙම්මේ තතෝපමං
ධම්ම වරං දේසයි
නිබ්බානගාමින් පරමං හිතාය
නිබ්බානම්පි බුද්දේ
රතනං පනිතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්තියෝතු වරෝ වරඤ්ඤෝ වරදෝ
අරහරෝ
අනුත්තරෝ ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි නම්පි බුද්දේ රතනං පනිතං ඒතේන
සච්චේන
සුවත්තියෝතු කීනං පුරාණං නවන්නත්ති සම්භවං විරත්ත චිත්තායතිකේ
පවස්මින්
තේකීන බීජා මෙරුල්ලිච්ඡන්දා නිබ්බන්ති දීරායතායම් පදීපෝ ඉදම්පි
සංඝේ රතනං
පනිතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්තියෝතු යානිද භූතානි
සමාගතානි
බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්කේ
තථාගතං
දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමස්සාම සුවත්තියෝතු යානිද භූතානි
සමාගතානි
පුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං ධම්මං
නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු
යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි
වායානිව
අන්තලික්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං
සංඝං නමස්සාම
සුවත්ති හෝතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සොත්තිතේ හෝතු සබ්බදායේතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන
සබ්බ රෝගෝ
විනස්සතු ඒතේන
සච්ච වංජේන හෝතු
තේ ජය මංගලං සිරිදිති මතිතේජෝ ජය සිද්ධි මහිද්දි මහා ගුණං අපරිමිත පුඤ්ඤාධිකාරස්ස
සම්බන්තරාය නිවාරණ සමත්තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස දත්තිං සමා පුරිස ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන අසීත්‍යානුභ්‍යංගන ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන අන්තුත්තර සතමංගල ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන චම්පන්න රංශානුභාවේන කේතුමාලානුභාවේන දස පාරමිතානුභාවේන දස උපපාරමිතානුභාවේන දස පරමත්ත පාරමිතානුභාවේන සීල සමාධි පඤ්ඤානුභාවේන බුද්ධානුභාවේන ධම්මානුභාවේන සංඝානුභාවේන තේජානුභාවේන විද්‍යානුභාවේන බලානුභාවේන නේය ධම්මානුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මස්කන්ධානුභාවේන විතකත්තයානුභාවේන දින ශාවකානුභාවේන සබ්බේ දේ රෝගා සබ්බේ තේ වයා සබ්බේ තේ අන්තරායා සබ්බේ තේ උපද්දවා සබ්බේ තේ දුන්නිමිත්තා සබ්බේ තේ අවමංගලා විනස්සන්තු ආයු වඩ්ඩකෝ ධන වඩ්ඩකෝ සිරි වඩ්ඩකෝ යස වඩ්ඩකෝ බල වඩ්ඩකෝ වන්න වඩ්ඩකෝ සුඛ වඩ්ඩකෝ තු සම්පදා දුක්ඛ රෝග භය වේරා ශෝකා සබ්බේ උපද්දවා අනේකා අන්තරායාපි විනස්සන්තු ච තේජසා ජය සිද්ධි ධනං ලාභං සොත්ති භාග්‍යං සුඛං බලං සිරියායුච වන්නෝච භෝගං බුද්ධිච අසවා සතවස්සාච ආයුජ ජීව සිද්ධි භවං තුතේ සම්දීතියෝ විවජ්ජන්තු සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවස්වන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භව භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ නක්ඛත් යක්ඛ භූතානං පාපංගා නිවාරණා පරිත්තස්සානුභාවේන අන්තු තේ සංඋපද්දවේ වස්සතු කාලේන සස්ස සංපත්ති හේතුච පීතෝ භවතු ලෝකෝච රාජා භවතු ධම්මිකෝ සාදු 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 Now we are moving into our English Dhamma sermon. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Saddha Dhanam Sila Dhanam Hiriyottapiyang Dhanam Sutadanang chagova Panyame sattamang danang Yassa ete dana atti Ittiya purisassava Adaliddo titang ahu Amogang tassa jivitang. Dear Dhamma friends, Pinvatuni, today we all are here to listen to the Buddha Dhamma, the teachings of the Lord Buddha. Dhamma Dhana, enabling to share the teachings of the Buddha, is the highest form of giving. So as listening to the Dhamma, preaching the Dhamma is also a great meritorious activity. Today, we start a series of Dhamma talks based on the 7 noble treasures in the Buddhist teachings. These 7 noble treasures explained by the Buddha in the Anguttara Nikaya, Arya Dhana Sutta. We take these 7 as a series of Dhamma talks to talk one by one. All these 7 are extremely important for Buddhist as well as non-Buddhist. Those are important human factors that make a huge difference into our life. Buddha preached that although material riches, wealth, such as gold, silver, maybe property, house, land, is a wealth, but can be destroyed by fire, floods, earthquakes, enemies, even from the government, state, can be taken or stolen by the thieves. Therefore, those are very limited in benefit, very temporary. However, the following riches, following wealth, following treasures would not only make our life here in this life a successful, it will allow us to overcome the suffering in the long birth and death cycle. Whereas the gold, money, property, similar wealth would not surely directly help us to overcome the suffering. Whereas these 7 treasures, 7 wealth, would certainly enable us to overcome the suffering here and hereafter. What are those 7 treasures or wealth? explained by the Buddha in the Anguttara Nikaya, Arya Dhana Sutta. The first one, faith. We normally called it conviction, confidence. The second one, virtue, we call sila. Third one, we call hiri, is a wealth, is a treasure. Moral shame. Psychologically, shame can be a kind of a guilty thing, which is not very helpful. But in the spiritual context, the moral shame is not just the same. Hiri means moral shame. Moral shame is being really shamed to do something bad, negative. That is a very powerful practice for personal development. That's called hiri, moral shame, shame to do any bad things. We should be ashamed of doing bad things because that is what motivates us not to develop. It is a wealth that we need to be earned, cultivated, and to be rich with. The fourth one called ottappa. Ottappa means moral fear. Fear is a bad thing according to psychologically, but whereas ottappa means moral fear. Moral fear means we are afraid of, we are morally afraid of doing bad things, which is a constructive motivation, help us to be really progress. Moral fear, ottappa. Sutta, a person need to be really rich in listening. Even in the psychiatry, there are only three things. One is trust, which is Saddha, we're going to talk about today, faith, confidence, conviction, without which nothing will work in psychological spheres. If a broken leg, we can fix it. But if it is related to mind, if the person doesn't listen, we used to put them behind the bars or put chains. But today we don't do it. Today we give all the facilities, a free room, free money, free hand money, pocket money, television. Try to look after them well, because these are very sophisticated areas that we need to be carefully handled. Those days we humiliate, but these days we concern about them. The only and the powerful way is developing faith, saddha, confidence. One can cross over psychological problems. That is why in psychiatry, out of three, the first pillar is called trust. Second one is called care. Care means compassion, kindness. If you don't care, it's very hard to make something different psychologically. Third one is listen. This is the sutta, Dhana, the treasure of listening. If a person doesn't really listen, the person would not get any progress. We call Suttamaya Panya. Even Alavaka, one of the very powerful demon, asked the Buddha what makes one gain the wisdom. Susuta labate panya. So, Bahu Satchancha Sippancha in Mangala Sutta even explain the power of listening. We talk them in detail later sessions, later series of Dhamma talks. The sixth, Dhana, the treasure mentioned in the Saptha Dhana, the 7 treasures. The sixth one is called Chaga. Chaga means giving, generosity, Dhana. We may have heard a bit more about Dhana because we are quite familiar. But in the world, bank, where with the richest place in the world, World Bank. Right in front of the World Bank, it says, if you know the power of giving, as I do, you will do it every day. Underneath it says, Lord Buddha. That is a saying by the Lord Buddha. Right in front of the World Bank, it says, if you know the power of giving, you will do it every day. Buddha said, those who know the power of giving as Lord Buddha knows, they would not consume anything, even giving a handful of them away for the benefit of others. We talk generosity in a later session. The last one of these, of 7 treasures, called wisdom, we call discernment. Wisdom is very important treasure that need to be earned, that need to be developed. The importance of those things, as I mentioned before, the other treasures, other wealth can be destroyed by fire, flood, politicians, thieves, but these will not do so. This will be taken away by ourselves. And the Gatha here explain, Yassa ese Dhana atti itya purisassava. Whoever, man or a woman, has these treasures or wealth, Adha liddoti tang ahu, will never be poor. Whoever has these 7 wealth, they would never be a poor, poverty person. Amogham tassa jeevitang, their lives will never be empty. They will never die in empty hands. Even the rich people, they die in empty hands, because they can't take away anything they have materially earned. They haven't spiritually earned anything. That is why they are not just riches, they are not just wealth, they are not just treasures, they are noble treasures, Arya Dhana. This is the Sara. Sara means the essence of Buddhism. Those who are wise need to take this seriously into their heart. If you really cultivate, practice, develop these 7 treasures, 7 wealth, this is the Sara, the essence of Buddhist teachings. If you have this, you will never be in a poor person and always prosper. And today we discuss about Saddha. Saddha means, we call it faith, we call it confidence, we call it conviction. There are different words because the Saddha word, Saddha, can't be really translated. So like the other words, Dhamma, Dukkha, in Buddhist teachings, there you can't find the equivalent in English language. Because most of the languages are being built with the theistic religions, based on a concept that they believe a God. Whereas Buddhism is an atheistic religion, a set of values and philosophies, those words would not represent the right translations. Faith in the other religion, purely based on, even the Oxford Dictionary says, a strong belief in the doctrine of a religion based on a spiritual conviction rather than a proof. And it also explains complete trust and confidence in something or someone, which is the God. This particular word faith comes from Latin word and then that is the more secular word, but most of the spiritual mythological word comes from Greek language that translate as reliability, trust, faith. But that does not really explain the word Saddha, Sraddha. Therefore, we need to really, this is the first and the most important step, practice, word that we need to learn in the Buddhist teachings as the Sara, the essence. This is the seed which we can develop a huge tree called Buddhist way of life. If there is no that seed in place, nothing will work. So, Buddhism is not a faith-based religion. It is non-theistic, which means non-faith-based. Saddha is completely different to the faith, but that is the word we can refer. Therefore, don't get too much complicated for using it. I do use it because I know the meaning I normally refer when I use it. Because the word faith is to surrender for oneself for a salvation, believing without questioning, whereas Saddha is not that kind of a surrender or believing without any questioning, that is having more inquisitive inquiry, confidence within our mind. In Pali we call Saddha, in Sanskrit we call Sraddha. For general purpose is a term for trust and confidence. The secular word trust, even in the psychology or other places, without trust nothing will last in this world. Even you would not stay in the building if you don't trust it. You would not get into a car if you do not trust it. You would not go into a meeting a person, associate a person, go into a relationship if you don't trust it. Therefore, trust is the main thing that exists everything in the world. If that is gone, everything gone. That is why I said faith, Saddha, is the main thing. However, this Saddha has two main aspects, two main types in Buddhist teachings. This is where we need to be really learn. Remember, there are two types of faith, confidence, Saddha, explained in the Buddhist teachings. The first one is called Amulika Saddha. Second one is called Akaravati Saddha. Amulika Saddha means blind, irrational, baseless, rootless faith. And it is no rooted one. It's Amula. Amula means not really established. It is like a straw in the wind. Once you believe some spiritual person, and then you just lose the faith on that person, goes into another person because everybody talks about it. And then you go to this religion, that religion, and you eventually practice all religion. And your faith has not been established well, rooted well. That is called Amulika Saddha, that is called irrational, baseless, rootless faith. Sometimes there may be Buddhists. They don't really have established their faith in the teaching. I go to this religion, I go to that place, I go to this spiritual person, I go to this mythical people. Therefore, they are not really getting into the true aspect of it. It can be same in the other aspects, like you are studying for a GCSE or somewhat in a school or something, and when you are learning, you are just learning by surface level. But you are not really rooted into your subject. When you were getting the notice for some exams, many people I have heard saying, "Dan thamai adanna wenni." Now it is time for a challenge. Because you know, what you have been skipping doesn't really help when you have not really gone into the subject. When the day comes of testing, that you will be failed. That's called amulika saddha. That means blind, irrational, baseless faith. Whereas what Buddhist teaching, the other type of faith is called akaravati saddha, which means confidence based on rational and experimental questioning faith. It gives exploring, investigating. You don't just believing merely. You verify the things by inquiriness. That eliminate all the obstacles in the spiritual life. When the day comes for a test, that you would not be panicking. So that is the most important faith that need to be cultivated. Whereas there are two types of faith. Both are in there. Some people are in the skip surface level Buddhist. Some people are truly well-rooted Buddhist. What well-rooted, firmly established what Buddhists are, the faith is the what Buddha really encourage. So you need to now self-reflect what sort of saddha you have, what sort of faith you have. There, at the time of the Buddha, there was a Buddhist monk called Vakkali. He saw the Buddha. He was so beautiful. Buddha was so beautiful. Instantly, this Vakkali became really faithful because he just instantly inspired. From the day one, he did not do anything. He just spent all the time nearby the Buddha, always wanted to see him. If he does not see him, he feels very bad. But Buddha was very concerned about this Vakkali and said, by just having a faith on my appearance, you would not get any benefit. Therefore, you need to engage, practice yourself truly in the duties of your spiritual life. What are the duties? Dhana, sila, bhavana. Practice generosity, practice morality, practice meditation. Yo dhammang passati so mang passati, yo mang passati so dhammang passati. The way to see me really, not in this physical form, said by the Buddha, by seeing the teaching, by seeing what I taught, that is where you need to really establish the faith. If you just establish your faith on what you see, when it is being gone, when the niceness, appearance gone, you will lose your faith. That is why there is a danger in there. So therefore, don't just go for the surface level or what you can externally see. Try to go a little bit in deeper. That is what we call the real faith. There was another monk called Dhamma. Our Lord Buddha was at the end of his great passing away. So he pronounced that he said he is going to pass away. All the disciples, all the people, all the devotees came far and near to pay the respect, to see the Buddha, to pay the respect before he passed away. But one monk called Dhamma, he did not come. He went into a secluded place, quiet place, and started practicing very hard meditation. Every monks, every other people were talking about this Dhamma as a heartless person. that our great teacher is passing. He doesn't want to come and see, but he is trying to practice somewhere in isolation. Somehow this message went into the Buddha. Said to the Buddha, one monk called, one of the disciples of you called Dhammarama is being very ungrateful. You are in the last few days, but he doesn't want to come and pay respect to you. The Buddha said, well, in that case, let's ask this venerable Dhammarama to come and see me. So Buddha asked him to come. He came and paid respect and said, Buddha said to him, I heard that you are being isolated, doesn't want to come here while everyone come and pay their respect. Is that true? Venerable Dhammarama said, Lord Buddha, yes, it is true. I believe the way that I can really pay gratitude to you by gaining some higher level of practice, at least before you passed away. That is why I try to practice hard and meditate very well. That is why I didn't really want to come in empty hand. I want to come with some fruits of the practice. Then Buddha called all the other monks and said, take an example of Venerable Dhammarama, who he honors me the most valuable way is the person who practice my teaching the best. That was said by the Lord Buddha. Therefore, it is not just a bhakti or feeling within ourselves that we love someone or we respect someone. Neither it is not doubting, questioning endlessly. The faith, the Saddha in the Buddhist teaching is for really investigate and practice hard to gain the clarity of the teaching. That is what the highest merits, wholesome action, which is not for salvation, which is for enlightenment. It is the powerful motivation that we normally call it urgency, spiritual urgency. When you develop the Saddha, that your life becomes, eliminate all hurdles, barriers, difficulties, because don't undermine the power of suffering. And it is not easy to gain the liberation. You need this strong faith, confidence called Saddha to establish yourself, to eliminate suffering. It is not about surrender. This Saddha is not surrender or belief. You know that Buddha delivered a discourse called Kalama Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya, which says you to investigate even the teachings of the Buddha. Don't believe merely by hearsay, by tradition, on account of mere rumors. Just because it accords with your scriptures, don't believe it, because it is just accords with your scriptures. Or mere suspicions, mere interference, considering the reasons merely because it agrees with your other elders, or this is being said by a good speaker, or this is being said by a respected person. But when you know for yourselves, these things are immoral, these things are blameworthy, these things are censored by the wise, these things when undertaken and performed conduce you to ruin and sorrow, you should be rejected that. You should not believe in it. When you know for yourself these things are moral, these things are not blameworthy, these things are blameless, these things praised by the wise, these things when undertaken and performed conduce you to well-being and happiness, then you should believe it, said by the Buddha in the Kalama Sutta. Even in the Vimansaka Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, Buddha encouraged the disciples to critically inquire, investigate, clarify the qualities of the Buddha, even the qualities of the Buddha. He says that develops you to gain the right understanding. He gives an example. It's like a boat or ferry that helps you to cross over the flood. When the flood comes, you started taken away by those currents. But if you have a boat, ferry, that you can save your life. Saddha is like a boat or a ferry. Another example he gives, strong branch that lift one to gain into a giant tree. When pursued, chased by a wild ox or an animal, for you to escape, you can climb into a huge tree, a branch of a huge tree. The faith is like that. When all these maras are chasing behind you, the Saddha will be the place for security, abode. And it will be like a door that you shut when a poisonous serpent comes, so that you would not be in danger. And it will be like a strong cable to hold a ship, to anchor it in the stormy weather. Therefore, these examples would really make you understand how the Saddha is very important in a destructive and stormy skepticism in the general life of every one of us. So therefore, what is really the Saddha? What you need to do to practice the Saddha is to know clearly what the Buddha is, who the Buddha is, what the Dhamma is, and what the Sangha is. Knowing the triple jewels very well, not as a God, but as an enlightened teacher. You need to know the Buddha in 9 qualities. You need to know the Dhamma in 6 qualities. You need to be clearly know the qualities of the Dhamma. You need to clearly know the qualities of the 9 qualities of the Sangha. Then you will be developing the true understanding of your faith or Saddha. Those are 24 specific qualities of the Buddha, 9 qualities, Dhamma 6 qualities, Sangha 9 qualities, 9, 6, 9, 24 qualities you need to learn properly, then you would be properly established in the Saddha. What are the 9 qualities of the Buddha? Arahant. Arahant means free from defilements, worthy of respect, do not do any wrongdoing even in secret. Samma Sambuddha means he realized the Four Noble Truths by himself and also even teach others of it. Vijjacharana Sampanna means he was endowed with supreme knowledge and perfect conduct. Sugata means he was very calm and peaceful and accomplished, entered into the Nirvana. Lokavidu means he is perfectly the knowledge of all the worldly systems. Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarathi means he was capable of training any difficult individuals like Angulimalas. Satta Deva Manussanam, he became a teacher not only to divine beings, angels, also to humans. Buddha, one who knows, fully enlightened. Bhagava, one who really eliminated the greed, hatred, and ignorance, became a blessed one. Those are the 9 qualities that you need to be really know, study, research very well to say that you are established in the Saddha. If that is being done, you would not go into this and that and go into this indifferent like a straw in the wind. You will be like a pillar, Indra Kila we call. What are the qualities of the Dhamma? That we need to establish ourselves to practice the Saddha. Swakhato. The teachings of the Buddha is well said. There is nothing to be eliminated, there's nothing to be added, is said perfectly. Sanditthiko. You can experience in this very life. You don't have to wait for the next life to benefit from the Dhamma. Here and now, you can experience Sanditthika. Akaliko. It is timeless. The results can be achieved anytime. Buddha was in 2600 years ago. But even today, that is valid, beneficial, practically useful. Ehi passiko. It is not just a blind thing asking us to believe. It invites you to come and experience, experiment, research. Ehi passiko. Ask to come and see. Openaiko. That needs to be understood by putting them into yourself through your personal experience. Openaika means by entering into yourself, you need to understand it. Openaika. Tamata pamunuwagena therun ganin. Pacchattam veditabbo. That you need to be realized by yourself within your understanding and wisdom. That is the 6 qualities of the Dhamma. What are the 9 qualities of the Sangha? Supatipanno. They are well behaved. Ujupatipanno. They are very straight with their moral practices. Nyayapatipanno. They are very wise to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. Samichipatipanno. They are always in the correct path of the teachings. Ahuneyo. They are suitable for you to invite into wherever you are and offer things. Pahuneyo. They are suitable for you to go and visit wherever they are and offer things. Dakkineyo. They are suitable for making any offerings. Anjali Karaniyo. They are suitable for salutation, veneration. Anuttarang Punyaketang Lokassa. They are incomparable field of merits. Punyakshestra. They are incomparable field of merits. That is the 9 qualities of the Sangha. So therefore, these are not to be believed. Those are to be investigated, practiced, and eventually gained into your life. Those are knowledge-based confidence. Those are not belief-based confidence. Saddha. According to the Abhidhamma, Saddha is a chetasika, wholesome mental state, mental factor. Saddha. It says in the Sobana Sadharana Chetasika, one of the 19 universal beautiful mental states, mental factors. Saddha, according to the Abhidhamma, is just a state of mind, Chetasika, one of the 19 universal beautiful mental factors. Saddha. It makes you beautify when you apply that. There are 37 factors of enlightenment. In there are five spiritual faculties called Pancha Indriya. Saddha is the first one of those. The rest is called Virya, effort, Sati, mindfulness, Samadhi, concentration, Panya, wisdom. These five spiritual faculties are believed to be developed in a gradual and progressive way with Saddha or faith leading to effort. So Saddha, without Saddha, you would not gain the effort. Without effort, you will not gain the mindfulness. Without mindfulness, you would not gain the concentration. Without concentration, there is no wisdom. So that need to be supported by one after another. Also, it need to be supported in a parallel way. For example, Saddha need to be always practiced with the Panya, wisdom. If the Saddha is there, no wisdom, Panya, you would be a very stupid person. You would do silly mistakes. You would not go far. Also, if the Panya, wisdom is there, no Saddha, you would be a very crafty and cunning person. You know how to take things around because you don't have a heart. This need to be practiced parallelly, Saddha and Panya. And then Virya, called effort, concentration called Samadhi, got to be practiced parallelly. Samadhi will never gain without the effort Virya. If there is no Virya, no Samadhi, no Samadhi, no Virya. That has to be supported from hand by hand. For those four parallel to be worked, there should be mindfulness in the right middle. So like a hub of a wheel. If the hub of the wheel doesn't really function, then there will be no way. So these five faculties are very important part of our spiritual development, without which there will be no way that we can gain the enlightenment. When you master that five faculties, it becomes itself five powers. Same thing, that Saddha become not just a faculty, it becomes a power. Your faith becomes, that means normally we say, if there is a will, there is a way. Same like you can make mountains, you can move mountains if you have the real Saddha in place. That means all the obstacles can be overcome if you have the real faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So those who do not have that real faith, they go to the Bodhi Puja. I'm not denying the Bodhi Puja, there is a part of it. They go to the Devalayas, they go to the Manios, they go to those kind of Devalas in all these subcontinents in India, because they do not really know the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. That is why they haven't developed it as a faculty, neither as a power. Then this was what Buddha explained in the Arya Dhana Sutta of Anguttara Nikaya in the teachings of the Buddha. Says those seven treasures. Out of those seven treasures, we explain today the first one called Saddha, the faith, the confidence. In Vyaggapadya Sutta, in the Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha explained four conditions that will lead to spiritual progress and future happiness. Those four are accomplishment of faith, Saddha Sampada, accomplishment of virtue, Sila Sampada, accomplishment of charity, Chaga Sampada, accomplishment of wisdom, Panya Sampada. Those are five conditions for really progressing, happy, successful life. Even in the Okkanta Samyutta Kandaka Vagga of Samyutta Nikaya, Buddha explained very beautiful thing. Buddha says there are two disciples. One is called Saddhanusari. The other one is called Dhammanusari. Saddhanusari, Dhammanusari need very importantly for enter into the stream entry called Sotapanna Magga. One can come into the first level of enlightenment through two different ways. One is Saddhanusari, by developing the real faith, or by practicing the following the real teachings of the Buddha called Dhammanusari. Abhisanga Sutta, Buddha explained very beautiful thing. Buddha says that there are 5 rivers, oceans. One of them is Saddha. Saddha is not just a merit, it is a river of merits. Punya Gangavak, it is not just a Punya Karma, it is a Punya Gangavak. You can see the difference about just a glass of water and an ocean of water or a river of water. In the Abhisanga Sutta, it says, if you practice the Saddha, what is Saddha? Buddha, it says, explain there, Saddhahati Tathagatasya Bodhin. If one believes, if one realizes, if one accepts the enlightenment of the Buddha, that is what we call Saddha. It is not just a merit, it is a river of merits. What is that? There are 4 factors for that: unshakable faith in the Buddha, unshakable faith in the Dhamma, unshakable faith in the Sangha, and the perfect morality that we develop, through which that way we can gain the real enlightenment, as Buddha truly mentioned for our. It is a wholesome action. It is the seed of every merit, without which there will be no success in our life. So therefore, the faith, Saddha, is very important practice. In Saddha Sutta of the Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha explained 5 benefits for those who practice Saddha. What are those 5 benefits explained in the Saddha Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya when somebody practices Saddha? When good people show compassion, those who with the Saddha will be the first to see, first to accept. For example, when you wanted to help someone, you are already a good person, you wanted to help someone, you would pick first those who have the real faith. So, say if you are in trouble, if you need some help, if you have the faith, you will be selected naturally by the good people, whether it is visible or invisible. The second benefit is, if you have the faith, when visiting, somebody says someone come into a visit the people, they will visit first people with the Saddha. So if somebody want to help, they will help first for the people who has the Saddha. If someone come and see you, they will first come and see the people who with the Saddha, the faith. The third benefit, when accepting gifts, they will be the people who first select to accept the gift. And then when giving the teachings, they will be the first to gain the real teachings. And the 5th benefit, Buddha says, after the death, they will be reborn in heavenly world. Those are the 5 benefits of Akaravati Saddha, which means rational faith, not Amulika Saddha, which is blind faith. Therefore, we need to strongly practice Akaravati Saddha, the confidence, rational, investigating, conviction within ourselves that is called unshakable faith that can lead into stream entry and eventually attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. However, we should not get confused with this concept because that is the main, very important concept. It says, Anavattita chittassa saddhammang avijanato pariplava pasadassa panyana paripurati. If someone has an undeveloped mind, if someone does not listen to the Dhamma, pariplava pasadassa, the person does not have the real faith. Real faith means the person may have a faith, occasionally come to the temple, occasionally listen to the Dhamma, occasionally practice sila. That is called pariplava pasadassa. That means a faith without understanding. That panyana paripurati, in that person, they would not develop the wisdom. So that is very important thing why we need to practice the Saddha or faith. There is a discourse delivered by the Buddha called Dhammacetya. You all need to read that Dhammacetya Sutta because that Sutta explains very well how important for us to gain the real Saddhahati Tathagatassa Bodhi, how we can gain the understanding of the teachings of the Buddha. You know that there was at the time, there was a king. He had this earnest need. He wanted to know real Buddha's teachings, but he could not find. Then he said to the whole country, I am going to give you a gift of $500. Please, anyone knows the teachings, come and tell. Nobody came. Then he doubled the gift. He says 5,000. Nobody came. Then he says, I will give a half of my country if somebody come and tell me one teaching of the Buddha. Nobody came. Then he said, I will give my whole country if someone comes and explain me the Dhamma. That is called Dhamsoda, because of his urgency, because of his very interesting nature of knowing Dhamma, he was called Dhamsoda. Eventually nobody came. Even if says that I am giving the whole country for those who explain me the Dhamma. Then eventually what he did, he left the palace, went into the forest and searching madly what the Dhamma is. A Sakra, the king of God, come to know this and wanted to really test. He came as a form of a devil and said, I know Dhamma. Would you like to know? He says, of course, this is why I was desperate to know. And then he said, I really can't give you any Dhamma because I am very hungry. Before I say something, I need to eat something. Then this person said, I'm sorry, I do not have anything to give, but I am really interested to know. Then this person said, in that case, let us make a plan. I will go into a cliff of that mountain and jump into your mouth. While you are jumping into my mouth, I will say one word for you. And then you will be my food. You know, this Dhammsoda, King Dhammsoda agreed for this. That was how powerful his faith in the Dhamma and wanted to know this very important truth. Of course, that was not the real devil. It was the king of angels called Sakka. welcomed him very well and took him to the heavenly realm, gave him all the comfort. That is what I said. If you have the real faith, not just a unstable faith, then you would be having the best understanding of the life in this very life. You may have heard about another philanthropist, another merchant called Anathapindika. He had a son. This son didn't really interested go to the temple and listen to the Buddha. Whereas Anathapindika was the main supporter of the Buddha. He goes every day. He built a big temple. He gave Dhana to 500,000 monks every day. But his son didn't really wanted to listen to the Dhamma or practice. The father was very worried about it. One day said, I will give you 500 pounds. It was not pounds by that time. I'm just using the pounds for you to understand better. You need to go to the Jetavanarama where Buddha was and listen to the Dhamma and come. He went there every day and came and asked, where is my money? And took the money. After a while, the father thought, my son is going to the temple, but sometimes he says he go to the temple, but he goes somewhere and play and make the time up and come home and get the money. This is not going to make any sense. Then Buddha said, this father called Anathapindika said to the son, well, I will give you 1,000 coins, which is kind of 1,000 pounds, but you need to go and learn one thing of the Dhamma and let me kind of explain it. That was the time, we call it Andannaveno. That was the time he felt very, very challenging. Then, however, because he know that it's double the money, he went there and he struggled and struggled and struggled to remember and understand one word of the Dhamma. Buddha knew why he was there. What is his purpose? Buddha made the Dhamma very, very strong, very, very profound. So he was really concentrating, focusing to understand one word of Dhamma, and eventually he became the first enlightenment stage called Sotapanna. Realized the Dhamma because he put the hard effort called real Saddha in the Dhamma. It was not just a surface level. Then father was getting ready with the money, 1,000 coins, 1,000 pounds, and said, let's have your money. He says, dear father, I really don't want the money because I understand this is priceless. Therefore, I'm sorry. I learned something really important. This changed my life. And this is what we call real Dhana, real wealth, real treasure that is far beyond the material money, material wealth that we all can calculate, save, piled up in our lives. Therefore, Saddha is the very important and the main practice that we need to learn that will save our life here and hereafter. With that, I am going to conclude my Dhamma sermon on the first treasure, the wealth of the 7 noble treasures, Saptha, Arya, Dhana. One who really practice this Saptha, Arya, Dhana, that person will never become a poor person. Adaliddo hoti. That person's life will never be empty. That person will certainly gain the enlightenment and away from the all lower realms. May this Dhamma Dana bring you the highest form of blessing, and may you be well, happy, and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today, Dhamma Dana very kindly sponsored by Dr. Lamindu Niroshana, Dr. Anuradha Herath, daughter Amaya Dulanjali, and they would like to dedicate this blessing for all in Sri Lanka to overcome all the difficulties and find the peace, progress, and prosperity. May the blessings be with their parents who brought up such grateful children. May all in their family and parents be well and happy. May the blessings be with you all for the progress, happiness, and to be the true devotees of the Buddha, the true Buddha Shravaka, to become Saddhanusari or Dhammanusari. So therefore, may this Dhamma Dhana be a great blessing to all of you. May you all be well and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With that, now I will pass on to our Rashika Arya and also Padmanona to continue the rest of the Dhamma program with the children and the meditation.
Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to this new series of Dhamma lessons. And as Hamdani said, we are learning a really important 7 qualities that would bring us happiness and prosperity, not only this life, but also the lives to come. It is that powerful. So we all know that as human, we have a mind that is naturally unsteady, very unsteady. So what does it mean? It means that we have taken effort to keep our mind and focus on one thing. So we have been discussing certain topics in the past called material gains. What are material gains? Anything that money can buy. So as children, you're not earning money now. So what are your material gains? Yes, Dhamma is one. The subjects that you earn in the school, your clothes, your books, your hair, your face, they're all material gains. And material gains has a very unsteady lifespan. In other words, you can't say that they will last forever. For example, when you become an adult, you find a job according to your education, earn money, buy houses, buy furniture, buy clothes, buy cars. You name it, you can buy it. And for example, you buy a car, spend your money, and chances are someone can steal it. So where is that happiness gone? It's gone with the car. It's not there with you anymore. So that's the disadvantage of this material gains and the happiness that create in your mind. It's very, very unsteady, very temporary. Now, according to both Thamaduru, we learned a spiritual gain that could last forever, as long as we do it in the correct manner. It will give you a long-lasting happiness. And you can earn that. They're called spiritual earnings. And Hamaduru gave another name, 7 noble treasures. They're noble, the greatest treasures. So what does that mean? No one can steal it. How precious is that? No one can destroy it. No one can burn it. And you have the highest security. That's the beauty of that. So you learned today the first one out of those 7, called Sraddha. Sraddha, according to Hamaduru, is the unshakable faith, confidence, unshakable. It doesn't change easily. It's steady, it's firm in your mind and heart. How do you achieve it? Is the next question. And Hamaduru told us how to practice Sraddha. And before practicing, we need to know what are the benefits of practicing this Sraddha. And as children, you will love this. There are 5 great benefits Hamaduru explained. You will be chosen as the first beneficiary to gain gifts, teachings, etc. Isn't that beautiful? You don't want to give money to someone to get a certificate, get a medal or anything. You will be chosen with the power of Dhamma. That's how powerful it is. I want you to understand this very heartfully. Because the benefits of this Sraddha, unshakable. No one can steal it. No one can destroy it. Once you get it, that's it. You have it. And it will be there for the rest of your present life. And the most beautiful thing is that it will carry on in your samsara life, from one life to the other. The more Sraddha you have, better for this life as well as the next life. Right. I think I made you understand in a Very simple way. Hamadru gave us lots of details. And it's, I would recommend that you go on to YouTube when Hamadru uploads this video. Listen to it every day in the next 7 days. Understand. I know it is, some areas are a bit more detailed. Ask your parents. I don't understand this. Can you explain to me? So where is that encouragement coming to you? To learn how to practice Sraddha. So for you to practice Sraddha, first of all, you have to have some qualities. When you say Buddham Saranam Gacchami, I take refuge in Buddha, I take refuge in Dhamma and Sangha. You have to mean it from the bottom of your heart. There's no doubts, there's no arguments. And that is called Sraddha. No shaky bits in your mind when you say Buddha Saranam Gacchami. What helps you to improve that confidence is, as Hamadru said, think about the qualities of Buddha. Whenever you say Gatha, whenever you say Buddha Saranam Gacchami, the 9 qualities should come into your head. And that will create a solid foundation in your mind, spiritually. And that's how you achieve unshakable mindset to develop Sraddha. Same thing with Dhamma, same thing with Sangha. I think I have talked enough for you to make you understand. I cannot emphasize enough the benefits and the benefits that you're going to gain out of this lesson. So you as children are really, really lucky to hear these Dhamma lessons at this age of your life. Take it into your heart with both hands. And life will never go wrong for you. So let us pay our heartiest gratitude to both Hamadru for taking time and effort to explain these gems of Dhamma to you all. Let's put our palms together. And say, the blessings of this Dhammadana may bring good life, happiness, good health to both Hamadru and your temple. Herath. Sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu, sadhu.
sadhu.
Thank you. Good. So, has anyone done any homework? Lost. Let's go through that quickly. Who wants to go first? Jonathan?
Thank you, Raskamama. I'm going to recite the 26th Dhatha of the Vasula Sutra. Techa papissu kamessu abhinamupavissane dittaheva dhamma garahiya samparaya chati tukkahitin nata jati nivadeti tukkacha garahavaya. Meaning of this Gatha is, there are often seen committing evil deeds in this life itself. They are despised. In the next that they are born in an evil state of existence. High birth does not prevent them from falling into a woeful state or from the censor. Thiruvan Saranai.
Let us go to Sangha.
Thank you, Chanadi Nangi. Teka pape suma kamesu atena makatisare dete vaba damakareha sampredagata gitim nate jati nivara reti dakagamkara vava. The meaning of this gatha is, they are often being seen committing evil deeds in this life itself is despised. They are born in an evil state by existence. High birth does not prevent them falling into a woeful state of censor. Even those who are born into so-called higher class families such as Brahmin, equipped with scholarly knowledge and scriptures, can be seen to commit unwholesome and evil deeds. Due to such actions, they are accambled and despised by others, and following death, they will be born into lower realms of suffering. So birth in socially declared higher and privileged class would not stop someone being despised in the world or being born into a lower world of extreme suffering if they commit evil deeds. Thank you very much for listening. Dharanang Sanai.
I wish you a nice please.
Thank you, Raskamama. Techa papesu kammesu abhinnamupadissare ditteva dhamme gareha samparaye cha duggatin nate jati nivareti duggaccha garahayava. Although born into a family of scholars of a higher class, they who are involved in evil actions suffer in this world, in this life, as well as in other worlds beyond this life. They always attain suffering. They're always born into a suffering state, and birth does not hinder them from going into suffering or blame. Thank you for listening. Everyone, Saranai.
Here, please.
Sorry, I did the wrong homework, so I don't have any homework for this week.
That's good.
Sorry.
Okay. We'll do everything.
Techa papesu kammesu papinya mupadissare titteva dhammikaraya samparaye chadukkatim nate jati nivareti dukkhakarahayava. This gatha basically means higher class people are often seen committing evil deeds. In this life, they are hated and despised. In the next life, they are born in an evil state of existence, in the lower realms. Higher birth does not prevent them from falling into a woeful state of life.
Even those who are born into so-called higher class families, such as Brahmins, equipped with good knowledge and scriptures, can be seen to commit evil and unwholesome deeds. Due to such actions, they are blamed and despised by others. And following death, they will be born into the lower realms of suffering.
What Nangi just said is saying that being born in a socially declared higher and privileged class will not stop someone from being hated in this very life, because they can still commit unwholesome deeds, and the Dhamma is not hindered by the caste system, because Buddha turned down that, and he is the creator of Dhamma. This can result in them being born in lower worlds of extreme suffering if they commit evil deeds anymore. Thank you for listening.
Teruan Saranai.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all of you. Oh, Manaka, have you done your homework?
Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the 26th Gatha of Vassa Sutra. Techa papesu kammesu abhihamu padissave ditte vedamme gavayaha sampavaye chadukkatin natajati nivareti dukkachaya gavahayava. The meaning of this gatha is one who is often seen committing evil actions or crime will be despised by others. He or she will have a sorrowful life in their next birth, regardless where they were born. Thank you for listening, everyone. Teruan Saranai.
Thank you, Monica, as well, for doing your homework and sharing your knowledge with each other. So that's that is the end of Vasana Sutra. We learned 26 gathas, which explain different areas that Buddha was trying to explain Arya, who is an outcast. I thought of having a little discussion with you all about this scenario that led Buddha to explain and get Agni Bharajwaja's mind change from what he was to now, what he was after listening to this Vasana Sutra. So can we go around the room and sort of explain to me what was the mindset that Agitavaraja was when Buddha visited his residence? What was his mindset? With him?
His mindset was fixed, and it wasn't in a growth mindset. So a growth mindset is a positive mindset, and a fixed mindset is a negative mindset.
What was negative?
He was thinking that Buddha was an outcast or sort of like bad person.
What was he doing when Buddha visited his residence?
Cursing him.
Right. No, before that is after he's seen Buddha.
Oh, he's practicing some sort of fire ritual.
Yes. Yes, that so he was doing some rituals according to what he believed. Then,
Yes.
so that was his mindset. So he was believing in all these myths. Negative. We can't say negative at the time. So what caste he was in?
Brahmin.
Brahmin. Yeah.
Sorry.
This Brahmin. And he, since he was a Brahmin, so from that point of view, what kind of mindset he did have, Hassan, from the point of being a Brahmin?
He thought, because in that time, because this caste system meant that Brahmins were right at the top, he thought that everybody else were inferior to him.
Exactly. Yeah. He thought he is superior to all other castes that was prevailing at that time. So when someone has that type of mind, what do you call that? What is it?
Ego.
Yes. Man. Because of ego, he thinks, because there's no other base, is it? There's no other reason for him to say that I am superior other than thinking of by himself that he's superior. And that's pure blind belief. Ego. So Buddha is now dealing with a person whose mind is full of egoism. And what did Agirvarigwada do when he saw Buddha with the moon?
So,
What did he do? Okay, so now
What did Agitavaraja do when he saw Buddha?
he said that Buddha was an outcast.
yes,
Mm,
right? Yeah. Why did he say so, Chanadi? Why did Agirvarigwada say that you are an outcast?
I don't know exactly, but I think because he didn't like the Buddha.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. He didn't like Buddha. Why didn't he like Viru?
He
Why
didn't
did-
really believe any like in Buddhism or anything, and he thought he was like stupid and stuff.
Yeah. What was that quality that he had?
Ego.
Ego.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he thinks that he's the best and the highest and the most privileged. So no one can disturb him when he's doing his rituals. That sort of mindset he had. Right. So what did Buddha do when he called when he called Buddha an outcast, Manaka? What did Buddha do? Did he get angry? Did Buddha get angry? No.
Why he had patience.
Hmm. He showed patience by doing what?
He had patience by helping him.
Yeah. Sanket. How did Buddha help initially to Ajahn? What did Buddha do? The first thing. Yeah.
He explained him what does it mean and what is an outcast, and explained how and what is an outcast.
Right. Abhishek, any other answer? What did Buddha first do?
Well, he first asked if Advaita Bharadwaja knew what the meaning, what outcast meant.
Yes, that was the first question. And Manuka is correct. Buddha showed patience, one of the great qualities. Doesn't matter who called you what name, we should have patience to absorb those criticisms, name calling. Why is it important for us to absorb it when someone calls names? Why is it important?
Because if you don't have patience, you can then get angry and then call them names back. Or get violent.
Yes. Yes. So you do something silly. For you to do something silly, your mind should be steady, or should it go all over the place? Yeah. If you have not got a steady mind, that's what happens. Yeah. So patience is a quality that improves this steadiness of your mind. Okay. Now let's go one more step further. So he learned, or he listened to Buddha, didn't he? So when Buddha asked, do you know who is an outcast? He said what? Chanadin, what did he say? What did Agni say when Buddha asked, do you know who is an outcast?
I can't remember, but it was something rude, I think.
Something
Rude.
rude. Vidanya?
He said no.
He said no.
No.
He said, I don't know who is an outcast. So he has called a name that he doesn't even know what's the meaning of it. Do we have people around us?
Yes.
Do that. I mean, around us in the sense, in the school, in the playground.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. We have seen many people doing that, didn't we? So, as a Buddhist child who understands that the principle, the advantage of keeping your mind steady, you're not taking those names and then destroy your mind and do something really silly. Yeah. Yeah. So the quality that you need to keep your mind steady is the patience. And Buddha gave a great example there by not saying anything harsh back to Adhikabharaja. Okay. Good. And then when Adhikabharaja said, I don't know who is an outcast, the Buddha explained one by one. How many gathas? 27 gathas. Yeah, 27 gathas. Why do you think Buddha has to say so many gathas to Adhikabharaja to change his mind? Why?
Because Adhikabharaja has a strong belief in his Brahmin belief that he can't easily be converted. So Buddha has to have many, many, many reasons to say that people have to be an outcast.
Yes. Yeah. So Buddha had looked at it in a very different angles. And ultimately ended up with 27 gathas to make him understand who is an outcast. And at the end of it, Chanadi, what happened to Adhikabharaja? Did he change? Or
Yeah.
yes, he did. He did change. So you can see now how powerful Buddha's word is. To get someone like Adhikabharaja, who has a stereotyped mind, and to change it for better. And what else one should have in order to listen to Buddha, understand, and then follow the Dhamma? What he should have got? What other qualities he should have got to change his mind at the end? So we talked about two bags at the back of you when you travel in the samsara. What are those two bags called, Chandra? Viral?
Pau and Honda.
Pau and Ping.
Pins, yeah, so.
Ping and Pau. Merits and sins. Yeah? So if you had a chance to have a look at Adhikabharaja's two bags, what would you have seen? Simple.
Probably a lot of sin and not much merit.
Why do you think that?
Because he had a really big pride, which isn't something you should have a lot of.
Okay. Thank you.
I think he had equal amounts of sin and equal amounts of ping because, well, taking that he did have a big pride, big ego, he still committed a bad sin by calling names to Buddha. That's offending the Buddha, and that's how you become an outcast. So he still has the burden of becoming an outcast, but he did listen to Buddha's sutta about outcasts.
So for him to listen to Buddha and understand what he should have had.
Bing,
Bing,
bing, bing, bing,
kusa, merits.
bing.
You got to have some kusa from your previous life or present life in order to absorb Buddha's word. A silly person won't be able to. You should have some kind of good karma, in other words. Isn't it? So we all should have good karma. In your next life, if Buddha would be there, then if you don't have committed any good karma in this life, would you be able to get the benefit of seeing Buddha and listen to his Dhamma? Chances are no.
No.
So that's why we commit good karma. How do we do good karma? Sangha.
You commit, you do good deeds.
Yeah, how do you do good deeds?
By
How many ways can you do good deeds, in other words?
loads,
So tell me one.
respecting someone,
Yeah, respecting someone. Yeah. Betul?
Giving gratitude.
Yeah, showing gratitude. Hasinda?
Respecting your parents and also having a good education. So, in other words, things that are mentioned in the Mangala Sutra.
So if you take a broader look at how to do good deeds, can you name 3 ways you can do good deeds? Yeah.
The triple gem.
What do you do with triple gem?
To take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dhamma, and take refuge in the Sangha.
Okay. What improves? How do you make merits out of that?
Because taking refuge in the Buddha means you have faith in the Buddha, and that's one of the things in Saddha. And then having faith in the Dhamma will make you have effort to continue in your spiritual. It means that you have good teachers to teach you more of that Dhamma.
What part of your body improves when you do mind? Yes. So you can do good deeds using your mind. Direct your mind to do good. What are the other 2? Anyone else? One is mind. What's the other 2? Asim.
Verbally, so through what you say. And
that, yeah, that's good. Hasim. I won't give someone else opportunity. Manaka, what's the last one? So we can do good deeds using our mind. Like Hasim said, we can use good words to commit good deeds. What's the last one?
you can help of others and think of others.
Yeah, good. Yeah, think of others mental, and help others will be bodily. Yeah, physically or bodily. Yeah. So those are the three things broadly you can use to do good karma through your mind, through words, and bodily actions. Good. I think we had a really good discussion. Thank you for, you have shown your knowledge and how you understood Vasala Sutta and what are the things that you have learned out of it. As the good people, what you can do is, when you say, I take refuge in Buddha, when you do something with your mind, when you do something with your body, with your words, when you say something, you've got to think about before doing something that would Buddha do this? Would Buddha think like this? Would Buddha say something like this? And if the answer is no, what are you going to do? Don't do it. That's called Buddham Saranam Gacchami. That's how you develop what we learned today, Saddha. By not doing what Buddha wouldn't do. Not saying what Buddha wouldn't say. Not thinking what Buddha wouldn't think. That is the greatest respect you can have towards Buddha. And it is the first step that you will put to improve what is called Sraddha. A spiritual earning, as we discussed earlier. So that spiritual learning, no one can steal. No one can destroy it. No external power can destroy it. See how powerful it is. See how powerful it is. Right. So I remind you again, listen to this Hamaguru's sermon today, every day, in the next 7 days. Please. You will see a change in your life for the better. As much as you think about educating yourself, dress yourself beautifully and cleanly, and doing a job that you would like in the future, earn as much money as you would like, think about Sraddha, and then step in to improve it. So if you divide your life into two, one side you will be earning money, doing your what you called Laukika Saptha. Yeah, living in a good house, driving a nice car, wearing clothes that you like, and so on. And the other half, you devote to gain those spiritual earnings. Don't be deceived by just money, just material gains. That's what I'm trying to say. Have a limit of what you're going to do with your money, with your earnings, material earnings. Don't get lost. The market, the world will give you one after the other for you to spend, for you to keep spending your earnings. And in no time, your happiness will go. We are looking for happiness that is long lasting. And that can only be achieved by improving the other half of your life, which is spiritual learning. Are these making sense to you? Yeah? Yeah. Good. But I think we took a lot of time today to discuss all these things. And Padma teacher has been waiting to do the meditation session. And I would kindly pass on to Padma.
Thank you, Rasika. Thank you for your precious time. And good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me well? So good evening. Can I hear from you all?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Manuka? Chanuti?
Good evening.
Okay. Just to wake you up. Viru, please. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sankar?
Good evening.
Good evening all. It's lovely to see you all here. Today more children are here. So what we did today about Saddha, is it? Yeah? Am I correct? About the faith. Have you all enjoyed? Yes? So we will do short meditation as our time permits. Actually, to benefit from this meditation, we have to do at least 45 minutes meditation. But take this essence and practice at home. Okay? So we will sit in a comfortable posture. Make your sitting comfortable. Try to discipline yourself for these few minutes. It will help you to concentrate your studies well. So therefore, pay attention. As someone mentioned that according to Mangala Sutta, it is the highest blessings to share our Dhamma and discuss about the Dhamma. So our topic is to meditate today is faith, the qualities of Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Correct faith or true perception, Samya Dusti. means the ability to look at everything with the right point of view. It means to look at the world the way it actually is, and not by your judgmental thinking. True perception, Samya Drushti, is the only gateway, entrance to the eternal bliss, final emancipation, liberation. That is why we are doing all this meditation, talks, studying, everything. So faith, as you all have listened to Dhamma talks, it brings up to peaceful commitment to the practice of Buddha's teaching and trust in enlightenment or highly develop your qualities. As you all already know about the qualities of Buddha, as chanting Itipiso, Gatha, I am not going to do much meditation on that because we were frequently was doing that 9 qualities of Buddha. I will just slightly touch that. Araham, not a trace of defilement, attachment or sense of pleasures left. Samma Sambuddha, who discovered the way to detach from the suffering, filled world by removing all defilements and understanding Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. Vijñācārana Sampanna, perfectly knowledgeable about how the world rises out of defilements. Sugato, calm and quiet, good qualities. Lokavidu, having ability to examine and explain any of the 3 worlds that encompass, involve everything. World of mental formation, means impermanence of all mental and material qualities and names. World of being, Buddha understood the habits, tendencies, and faculties of all living beings. As a result of his knowledge of the world of being, was considered completely. Through his power of awareness, he recognized the world of locations. He was aware of distant planets, stars, and all the universes. Equally, he rarely highlighted such a knowledge because he never regarded his knowledge as conducive to liberation. Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarathi, capable of taming any difficult individuals, human beings, as well as animals. Sattha Deva Manusanam, teacher of celestials and human beings. Buddha, perfectly enlightened, evacuated all existence. Bhagava, able to examine the living beings' origin in many different ways. Able to examine connections or relationships. Form of any means. There are 6 qualities of Dhamma, as you all aware. Swakkato, try to concentrate because we are not very familiar with these. Swakkato, the Dhamma is not speculative. In other words, it is not an imaginary philosophy. But this is a universal law found through the enlightenment and is preached precisely. Therefore, it is excellent in the beginning. Sila, moral principles. Samadhi, concentration. Excellent in the end, Amaya, wisdom. Leads to removal of samsaric suffering. Get out of the 31 realms as you all will. It teaches us getting rid of concept of me, asmimana, ego. You have learned now minute ago. It is not about whether a self exists or not. It is rather to realize not nothing in this world is worth to be considered as mine. Sanditiko, as Bhante explained in his preach, the Dhamma is testable by practice and known by direct experience. It allows one to comprehend the suffering, the key reason for the existence in this world. Akaliko, if you practice appropriately, not here and there, the Dhamma is able to bestow, give you timeless and immediate results here and now. Bhante was explaining that. For which there is no need to wait until the future or next existence. Akaliko means this Dhamma does not change over the time. It is the same Dhamma that is delivered by all Buddhas. Another meaning is that is leads to the removal of darkness, your all defilements. Ehipasiko, the Dhamma will come all beings to put it to the test and to experience it for themselves, experienced by ourselves. Defilements can be removed. When the thoughts come to our mind, the person well established does not wait to remove defilements in a form of doing meditation session. They take care of themselves, their thoughts. When an immoral, dishonest or wicked thoughts comes to the mind, they remove that defilement immediately, not waiting for meditation session. Open eye core. The Dhamma is leading to a goal of Nibbana. Buddha made this smooth going. So therefore it means one can comprehend how each existence arises or origins. Is the principle of the nature. Vachakram vedittabho vinyuhiti. The Dhamma may be perfectly realized only by the noble disciples who have matured and enlightened enough in supreme wisdom. Pachattam vedittabho vinyuhiti can be understood by looking at the origins. Means the hidden can be seen like something hidden in a vessel by piercing it. Anything in this world arises due to paticca samuppada, depending on origination. Maybe you have heard this at least once. Dhamma allows one to see through how this whole world, together with all the suffering, arises. Spend 1 second recalling what you have heard. Then we will move on to 9 qualities of the Sangha. Here, Sangha means noble or Aryan. those who have attained one of the Marga Phala. Sangha means one who has removed all defilements. The first qualities of the Sangha. Supatipanno, Bhagavato Savak Sangho, the noble disciples of the Blessed One. Practice well the threefold triple purposes, such as training the morality, concentration, and wisdom. Vijapatipanno, the disciples of the Blessed One. The one practice righteously the threefold training, what I have mentioned, morality, concentration, and wisdom. Nyayapatipanno, the disciples of the Blessed One practice the realized Nibbana. Samijipatipanno, the disciples of the Blessed One practice to be worthy of veneration. The first four phrases describe four noble qualities: Supatipanno, Vijapatipanno, Nyayapatipanno, and Samijipatipanno. Means having such a quality, means goodness and morality. Straightforward and not twisted in character. See the qualities of the Sangha. Go in depth. They are wise, pleasant to associate. Therefore, it is easy to what is meant by these phrases briefly. But as with this, all these qualities, it is not possible to describe them fully in words. Yadidan Chattari Purusyugani described 8 types of person. Atta Purusa Puggala. Four noble ancestries, origins. Eight types comes when each stage is divided into two, as example, Arahat Magga and Arahat Phala. Then starting with Esa Bhagavato Savak Sangho, those noble disciples of Buddha. 5 more qualities I stated: Ahuneyo, Pahuneyo, Takineyo, Anjalkaranayo, Anuttara, Punya Ketan Lokasat. Ahuneya, being worth of receiving, offering, brought even from far distance. Pahuneya, being worthy of receiving, offering, especially set aside for guests. Dakineya, being worthy of receiving offering, offered with the belief that the offering will bear fruits in future existence. Anjali Karaniyo, being worthy of receiving reverential salutations. Anuttara Anuttaram Punyaketan Lokasati, being an unsuppressed, incomparable, fertile field for planting the seeds of merits in the world. You all heard all these things. Therefore, those disciples have clearly seen the core principles of nature, Paticca Samuppada. They have grasped them and will not be separated from them ever. Because of that, they can dissolve and remove the causes that fuel the samsaric journey, the suffering, which can hurt others, cultivating good qualities so that they cannot hurt others. These disciples are like a fertile, fruitful fields that can provide unlimited resources to others, just like a well-cultivated field can provide food for many. Spend 1 second, these qualities, whatever you can remember. You can go through again and again. It will benefit for yourself to concentrate your studies, to discipline yourself every second. When you are reflecting on Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the qualities of them, your mind is invaded neither by greed, anger, or delusions. You will develop right state of mind. Then when you suppress your hindrances, the jhana practice arises in a single mind of moment, mindful. If you understand whatever, even one quality of this the Dhamma Sangha, stay in that serenity. 1 minute. Bringing our palms jointly together, close to our heart. Be grateful having this opportunity. With the power of these qualities of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may I be well, happy, and peaceful. Recite silently some of the things that have shaped me into this person that I am today, are my parents, family, the people that I grow up around, some of the events in my life. Therefore, I am very grateful to everyone in my life. May my departed relatives and all in this universe share these merits, and may they be well, happy, and peaceful. Let's say sadhu 3 times out loud. I will let Manuka to say sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you for being here. Over to you, Rasika, please.
Thank you, Saddha. Session. Great session. You all learned a lot out of that. As Padma said, devote your time at home, and it will take good 45 minutes to do that. I know you'd be a bit late today. Your concentration wouldn't have been there as expected. But at least we learned the essence of it. And then you have now chance of practicing. Thank you, Bob. Right, so we'll do some homework next week out of the lesson we've done today. All you have to do is show your understanding of what Saddha is, what are the benefits, and how to practice it. And if you can include some your own experience, if you had any that is related to Sraddha. Thank you, everyone, and I will kindly pass it back to Humble.
Thank you very much, Rasikaya, and also Padmanona. I know that, as you mentioned, we have behind the time, but it was an enormously beneficial, big lesson for all of us, and you were all working very hard. Rasikaya did a good discussion and brief about the Vasala Sutta. That was wonderful, and it was a very useful thing. And also Padmanona did a very, very good meditation on Saddha. It's a very powerful meditation. I know you have to rush a bit to keep on to the time, but as everyone said, it takes about 45 minutes comfortable. But I think you need to, now it is on there, you can listen to it at least 45,000 times. And that would make you really benefit with your practice, with your spirituality. It's a very, I can understand both Rasikaya and Padmanona has taken a great effort, dedicated a lot of time to make that. And it was a very, very good session. And I'm very grateful. That's what I wanted to say. I'm really grateful for bringing that strength, quality, and the real benefit into our programs. May these blessings be with you all. And to the children, thank you very much. I know it's very late for you, or you still waited. Even those who left, I know it is for some other reasons. At least they try their best to stay with us, which is a great thing. So I wish you all the good thing, all the blessings for being with us. And so look forward to see you next week. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much all.
Jonathan, you can start.
Tiruvan Saranai Hamdurune Rasika Mama and Padma Auntie.
Manuka, please.
Dewan Saranai Hamadura Wasika Mama and Padma Auntie.
Sanket, please.
Saranam Sarane Hamdrune Raskamami and Padmanandi.
Viru?
Tiruvan Saranam Durane Rasikamam Padmananda.
Tiruvan Saranai Hamdurune
Padmanandi
and Tata.
Terun Saranai Hamdru. Terun Saranai Padma. Terun Saranai to you.
Everyone, Sarma, I know some of you are not feeling well, but you still managed to stay nearly more than 3.5 hours, which is a wonderful thing. It was really hard with all this cough and everything, but it's a great blessing for you. Thank you and see you again soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.